Welcome back, yet again adventurers, to Let's Play Steins Gate 0. In the last episode, Rintaro could avoid the future no longer, and he asked for Suzuha Amane's honest opinion about his behavior in the time that they've been here on the Beta World line. Suzuha pulled no punches, and she certainly didn't when Rintaro asked her to literally punch him in the face, a decision that he will later come to regret. However, that punch was enough of a trauma to reawaken the phoenix that is the insane mad scientist Hoenn Keoma, lab member 001, and the founder of the Future Gadget Laboratory. But while he may desire chaos and destruction and the overturning of order, he does not condone suffering and misery and despair.
それはアマデウスの件が終わったらすぐに破棄してくれ。
For now, the operation to obtain and eventually destroy the catalysts that will lead to World War III. Kurisu's laptop and hard drive, which contain her original theory of time machines that she wrote for her father before her unfortunate end. And finally, the memory data from March of 2010, otherwise known as Amadeus Kurisu, both of which will have to be destroyed.
本当にいいん?
He looked back at Maho, and this time she nodded. It's the only way, Daru. The only way to keep that information from Stratfor, from the Russians, from the European Union, from any country or organization out there that might use it for their own nefarious self-interest.
ええ。でも、それは私にやらせて。
I believe that Hoenn Keoma can grant you your request.
Okay.
The problem now was Amadeus.
マホ、アマデウスのあるサーバーにアクセスできるか？
ええ、できるはずよ。橋田さん、ちょっと PC を貸してもらえる？
So Maho can still access Amadeus, at least in this world line.
え? あ、ちょい待ち。
That's very good to know. Daru motioned for her to stop with one hand, then started typing something into the keyboard.
何をしてるんだにゃ、ダルにゃん。
Being a super hacker, Varys, that's what
一
he
応
does.
IP がバレないよう厳重に細工を。OK、どうぞ。
That is why you are the favorite right arm of Hoenn Keoma. Officially, Internet Protocol. However, the term IP is often mistakenly used to describe an IP address. An IP address is essentially an ID number given to a computer to allow it to exchange internet information via the internet or LAN. The Internet Protocol is the methods and standards used to exchange that information. But we need to cover our tracks. Make sure that Stratfor and Liskinen can't find us. Maho took over from Daru at the computer. I wonder, just what will Amadeus Kurusu think of Hoin Kiyoma?
え、おかしいわ。アクセスできない。
That's unfortunate, but not
どうい
surprising.
うことだ？
パスワードが間違ってるってことは？
そんなミスするわけないでしょ。今まで何度も入力してきたんだから。
Maho tried the password a few more times, but she still couldn't access the server.
私のアクセス権限自体が停止されちゃってるみたい。
Looks like it.
どういうことなのこれ。ちょっと教授に電話してみる。
Maho took out her phone and called Liskinen. She put the phone next to her ear for a moment, then frowned to put it down.
ダメ。繋がらない。
What a surprise. She tried calling Dr. Rez, but that didn't work either.
もう、どうなってるのよこれ。
やはりそう簡単にはいかないか。
If Maho's access rights have been taken away, that must mean that someone was about to do something. Indeed, the very people that Maho was trying to get in contact with.
別のアプローチ方法を探ってみよう。
But we're not out of options
ビクト
yet.
ル・コンドリア大学のサーバーにハッキングできるか？
OK、ちょっとやってみる。
Even if we can't break into Amadeus directly, there are still ways.
簡単に言ってるけど、うちの研究所のセキュリティ結構厳しいわよ。
Don't underestimate Daru.
大丈夫だ。なんたってダルはスーパーハッカーだからな。
それを言うならスーパーハッカーな。
Indeed we do. Hack. It's been a long time since we called him that. He'd broken in CERN security in just 20 hours. I had absolute faith in him. Daru's hacking skills are triple S class, Maho. Watch and learn. Daru and Maho were staring at the screen and discussing something. He was probably asking her for details to make his hacking more efficient. I needed to do what I could while I waited. I went back into the development room and opened up a box that had just arrived the other day. Mayuri looked over my shoulder into the box.
ああ、電子レンジちゃんだ。
Indeed.
唐揚げは解凍しないからな。
It is the basis for the next generation phone wave, real name TBA.
残念。みんながお腹空いたらジューシー唐揚げナンバーワンを振る舞ってあげようと思ったのに。
Probably should have brought a second microwave there, Rintaro. First I needed to reconstruct the phone wave TBA. After that I'd have Maho help me make the time leap machine. On my way back from the future, I had memorized every bit of how it worked, so it didn't take very long.
橋田さん、あなたすごいわ。
Indeed. A true monster he is. It was about 30 minutes later when I heard Maho's old voice.
やったのか？
僕にかかればこれくらい朝飯前だぜ。
スーパーハッカーの名は伊達じゃないな。
I can certainly believe it.
じゃあ早速アマデウスのデータを探してくれ。
待って、今開いて。
I swallowed and looked at the screen as I listened to the mouse click.
ない。
Someone's taken the Amadeus data, and I think I can guess
ア
who.
マデウスもクリスの記憶データもあったはずのフォルダからなくなってるわ。
In other words, it seems like Stratfor's closed up shop and moved elsewhere.
すでに持ち出されたということか。
In other words, I think Leskinen and Rhea's tenure at Viktor Chondria and Wako City has come to an end. I unlocked my phone and called up the home screen. And lo and behold, do you see what I see? A golden icon with that logo Amadeus. Amadeus' icon was still there.
なあ、このアプリからアマデウスにアクセスできると思うか。
That is a brilliant stroke of luck if ever there was one. Looks like in this world line Amadeus wasn't completely shut down. In this world line, Rintaro Okabe was still a tester. And that's very good news for Ho and Kyoma. Maho looked over at my phone.
どうかしら。アマデウスのデータそのものがサーバーに残ってないならさすがに無理なんじゃ。試してみて。
We have no other choice.
どうしたの？
いざ繋がった時のことを考えるとな。慎重にいかないと。
Indeed. But we need to go ahead with it regardless.
誰かに見られているかもしれない。
That's very true. And even if we connect to Amadeus, even with Daru's super hacker skills, Leskinen is still capable of monitoring Amadeus.
ん？
どうしたダル。
ここさらに鍵がかけられてるフォルダがある。
I noticed that one earlier.
どれ？
Maho leaned forward and stared at the monitor.
変ね。こんなフォルダ今までなかったわ。
A folder curiously titled Memory. And something tells me that's not just for computer or PC memory.
かなり厳重なセキュリティがかかってるっぽい。さっきのとは比にならんくらい。
In other words, it's a fortress
ア
of
マデウス
digital
は
security.
そっちに移されたのかしら。
Probably.
でも一体誰が？そんな権限を持っているのはレスキネン教授ぐらいよ。
Indeed, and I think we're finally starting to put that particular puzzle piece into place.
レスキネン教授には裏の顔があったか、あるいは教授の身に何かあったか。
As much as I would love to entertain the possibility that Leskinen is on our side and being coerced by somebody else, I'm not buying it for a second. Neither possibility was appealing.
ダル、そのフォルダは一旦保留だ。
Good idea, don't want to trip over any landmines for the moment. And of course, given our experiences with Moeka Kiryu on the Alpha World line, we can't really trust anyone except the Future Gadget Lab, even though Boca was made a member
ストラト4
of
の
said
サーバーに
lab.
ハックを仕掛けてくれ。
Now comes the hard part.
え、ストラト4ってなんでスト
おそらく今回の騒動の一端を担っているはずだ。以前ハックしたことがあるから簡単だろう。
Probably is the wrong word to use there, Rintaro. They're definitely
つ
involved.
かオカリン、なんでそんなことまで知ってんの？エスパーかよ。
俺を誰だと思っている？狂気のマッドサイエンティストは全てお見通しだ。
Give me a sec, as he said, as he typed something else into the computer.
ストラト4のサーバーはと。
Good work, Daru. I could tell he'd done it once before. This time he got through a lot faster than it took him to break into the university.
そのアマデウスっつうシステムのデータを探せばいいんだよね。
That would be a start.
ちょっと待って。
Maho leaned her tiny body forward and took the mouse from Daru. She clicked on an icon. The screen filled with some kind of text.
これレポートだわ。
She opened several more files, but since they were written in English, we couldn't read them.
これは
一体何のレポートなんだ？
実験よ。ストラト4が行っていた人体実験。
人体実験？
どうやらストラト4は記憶の移植実験を行っていたみたいね。
In other words, Kagari Shina was just one of many test subjects.
誰かの記憶データを別人に移し定着させる実験をいくつも行っているわ。
Although in all fairness, it's not as if Stratfor were trying to throw people through singularity event horizons and causing them to be jellymen, unlike CERN in the Alpha World line. Memory transplant experiments. That was only possible through Amadeus.
最初こそ動物を使っていたようだけど、最終的には生身の人間で行われてる。
That would definitely explain the bodies of the dissected monkeys that the news crew found in America.
被験者には身寄りのない人を利用したみたい。大人から子供まで人種も様々。
In other words, people Stratfor thought would never be noticed nor missed. But that makes them no better than CERN on the Alpha World line. She looked down at the report again. I actually forgot that Maho knows a bit of English.
どうした？まだ何かあるのか？
どうやら彼ら記憶移植に関する新しい実験に着手しようとしてるみたい。
It was safe to assume that the experiments had something to do with the time machine. They were trying to force open the black box of Kurisu's memories in order to gain information about the time machine. Even if they couldn't get the password from the laptop from Amadeus, if they could access her memories directly, it would give them everything they needed. It was just like what had been done to Kaguya in the last world line, but on a more advanced level.
とにかく今はクリスの記憶データを探すのが先決だ。ダル、データはありそうか？
But it's not going to be easy for Stratfor to pull that off. He took the mouse back from Maho and sighed.
いや、ないね。それらしいもんは見当たらない。
So it looks like that Amadeus is being kept on a completely different server. What was going on? Hadn't Stratfor stolen the Amadeus data from Viktor Chondria?
一番怪しいのはやっぱ大学のサーバーじゃね？あのプロテクトがかかってたとこ。
Which meant they were working without stealing the data. Did they hack it like we did? Or... No, they had no need.
どうする？
After all, since Alexis Leskinen is working in tandem with Stratfor, there's no way he'd just steal the data from them.
マホを信じよう。ダル、侵入できるか？
Looks like we're about to come crashing headfirst into that folder's security.
できるけど、これはちょっと骨が折れると思われ。
どれくらいかかりそうだ？
わからんけど、下手したらまるっと半日以上はかかるかも。
If you have to pull an all-nighter, Daru, then so be it. If Daru said so, it must be heavily protected indeed.
しかも途中でハッキングかけてるのがバレたら全部おじゃん。
A super hacker Daru may be, but he's not superhuman. They find us and it's game over. We needed to hack in to get rid of Kurisu's memory data. And until Daru finished, we needed to keep Stratfor distracted. The problem was how. How to achieve these goals.
アマデウスと通信している最中は、こっちの位置情報はどうなるんだ？
Probably gets transmitted to the server.
全部把握されるわ。当然アマデウスのプログラムを持っている連中にもね。
In other words, once we're in contact with Amadeus, Leskinen will know exactly where we are. Which means calling her at the Future Gadget Lab at the moment is out of the question. I thought so.
問題はアマデウスにつながるかどうか。
First, I needed to see if the app even worked anymore. If it did, I had an idea.
マホ、一つ無茶な頼みをしていいか？
Looks like we have a plan after all. A plan so cunning you can put a tail on it and call it a weasel, as Blackadder would say. A full day had passed since the operation began. The operation with no name. Daru still hadn't managed to break the lock on the folder. That's not surprising. Thankfully that they hadn't detected him yet, but that didn't mean we were safe. While Daru did his work, I finished my own, and then handed the rest off to Maho. My actions might have changed the future already, but we still had to do our jobs. World War III's not avoided just yet. Suzuha had her arms crossed, expression stern. She'd been that way for a while. At a glance he looked calm, but I could see her tapping her arm with her index finger. She's a frontline fighter, but that doesn't help here.
おじさん、私たちにできることはないの？
Not this time. Fighting a war in space is one thing, fighting a war across time is something else. We were finally ready to stop the Third World War. It had to bother her that there was nothing she could do. It had to be stopped as soon as possible, but all she could do now was wait. She was frustrated and on edge. But that was true of everyone else.
もう少しだ。ダルもマホも頑張ってくれている。
Depends on what cracks first, that folder or Amadeus. Once Maho had completed what I'd asked for, there would be something we could do too.
フェイリス、甘いものとか買ってくるにゃ。疲れた時には甘いものが一番にゃ。
It looks like Ferris is gearing up lab men morale.
あ、それじゃあ僕も。
Just as the two of them stood up, the development room's curtain opened. Maho flinched a little as everyone stared at her, but she quickly smiled. Then she thought better of it and tried to look more serious.
まったく大変なことをいっぺんに頼まないでよね。
すまん。それで終わったのか？
Let's just hope so.
言われたことは一応ね。
Well, let's see if your work paid off. The microwave in the back was connected to a different headset than the one I'd seen last year. It was the same one she'd used to take my memories. That's why she'd been able to finish this in such a short time. A time leap machine. So it was done then. Now, even if I had the time leap from the future, I could go back to 48 hours from now.
それからこっちも。
She offered me a pair of smartphones. These gadgets would be our secret weapons in the upcoming battle. I'd Maho make them too. They used a simple AI to create a pseudo-response algorithm that would deceive our opponents.
さすがだな。こんな短時間に AI を作るなんて。
自分で頼んでおいてよく言うわ。
That's very much true. Her face looked exhausted.
アマデウスで使っている音声ソフトがあったから流用して開発期間を短縮したの。
It's a good thing you worked on the development of Amadeus then.
それにこれは AI なんて大層な代物じゃない。こんなものでごまかせるのかしら。相手はクリスなのよ。
May be impossible for anyone else, but trust me, if there is one person that knows Kurisu Makase, it is Horin Kiyoma.
少しの時間だけでも騙せればそれでいいんだ。ダルのハッキングから連中の目をそらせればそれでいい。
As long as their attention is on us and not Daru, things should go smoothly. Though I'm not holding my breath. The goal was just to keep Stratfor confused. We didn't need to hold a long conversation. We just hooked it up for Well, we just hook it up for a short time and then end the call shortly after, so they can't track us. It was time to get started. But first... we'll have to get in touch with Amadeus. I hit the send button on a message that I'd already typed to Moa Kiryu. Looks like Haru and Kiyoma is teaming up with the Rounders one last time. Once it was done, I turned towards the group. Looks like all the lab members, save Kurusu Makase, are now playing their part.
作戦の概要を説明する。
Suzuha, Mayuri, Ferris, Rukuko. I offered them the phones that I'd just been given by Maho.
4人には2人1組になってもらう。そうしたらこのスマホを持って都内を動き回ってくれ。ペア同士はできるだけ離れた方がいいな。片方の組は中央線沿線、もう片方は山手線沿線ということにしよう。
So it looks like we're planning to trick Stratfor into thinking that Rintaro is at a different place. If we dance around, then it will make that much harder for them to track us. However, I can only last for so long.
スマホにインストールされている Amadeus というアプリを立ち上げてくれ。
Which basically means that everyone now has the Amadeus app. While Daru was doing his hacking, I'd left Akihabara and tried to contact Amadeus from Tokyo Station. And it had worked. Now back in contact with Amadeus Kurusu. She had responded. I cut it off instantly, but I was sure of it. I'm sure she's going to be rather upset about that, but nevertheless the app was still working. And this plan was going to use it to full advantage.
立ち上げてどうするの？
アマデウスはマキセ・クリスという人物の記憶をもとに作られた人工知能だ。俺たちは今からそいつを騙す。
That's right. Our goal was to deceive Amadeus Kurusu. When we contacted Amadeus, the enemy would know where we were. My plan was to take advantage of that fact.
アマデウスを立ち上げると同時にもう一つのプログラムが起動する。
Hence the algorithm.
もう一つのプログラムってなんだにゃ？
そこの S ってマークのあるアイコンをタップしてみてもらえる？
これかにゃ。
Ferris tapped her phone.
もしもし、俺だ。
ああ、オカリンの声だ。
話しかけてみてくれ。
今日はどうしたんだにゃ？
特に用はないんだ。少し話がしたくなってな。
Interesting responses, but that's...
すごい。自動的に答えてくれるんですね。
It's probably going to, not going to take Amadeus Kurusu all that long to figure out the trick. What I'd asked Maho to make was a simple program that detected words and phrases in a conversation and replied with set patterns. You could call it an artificial non-intelligence. Of course, once Amadeus Kurusu cycles through enough patterns, she's going to put two and two together.
オカリンさんと私のボット 名付けてサリエリよ。
Couldn't have picked a better name myself. Thanks to the famous movie, Salieri was known as a lesser man with an inferiority complex, but in reality he was a very talented composer in his own right. It felt a bit rude to the real Salieri to give his name to something like this, but there wasn't time to worry about that now.
アマデウスを起動すると俺たちのボットが自動で返事をしてくれるようになっている。
And that should hopefully keep us, our enemies off our backs, as Daru does his work.
つまり相手に今喋っているのは岡部さんだって思わせるということですか？
そういうことだ。
As expected of Horinkyuma's disciple. Which meant Amadeus would think I was where they were. I would have liked to have had more terminals, but since Amadeus needed the cell phone to be registered with its systems, there weren't many I could use. All I had were my phone and Maho's, but for a short time period it would be enough. Of course, Maho's phone had her own version of Salieri. And then there was the message I'd sent to Maruka's Rhine. The plan was for her to spread information indicating that Maho and I had Kurisu's laptop and hard drive. Even if they were doing the memory experiments, they still wouldn't want someone else getting their hands on them. Sooner or later they'd pick up on that information and come up to me with everything they had, which is quite considerable. Amadeus was in their hands. If Amadeus's location data told them I was there, they would come looking. But we wouldn't be there at all. And then they'd get a call from someplace completely different and head there. The plan was to keep them occupied with that, and keep their eyes off the server hacking.
以上が今回の任務となる。
Should you choose to accept it? Everyone nodded. Of course, it goes without saying that if any of your lab mems are caught or killed, Horinkyoma, the secretary will disavow any knowledge of your actions.
くれぐれも言っておくが、アマデウスとの長時間の接触は厳禁だ。
Because if we do, then the ruse will be revealed.
それから、アマデウスを切った後は、すぐにその場を移動すること。何かあったら、すぐに連絡をよこすこと。
It's very important we stay in
これだけは
contact.
絶対に守ってくれ。わかったな。
私はどうすればいいのかな。
Fortunately, that just leaves Kaguri. Kaguri raised her hand hesitantly.
君は連中に顔も知られている。ここから動かない方がいい。
After all, you were one of their test subjects.
でも私だって何か役に立ちたいよ。ママやみんなが頑張ってる中で一人何もできないでいるなんて、そんなの嫌だよ。
Sadly, we can't take the risk of Kaguri falling back into Stratfor's hands. Well, this was a problem.
お願い、オカリンさん。私にも手伝わせて。
I understood how she felt, but I still couldn't put her in danger.
すまないが。
It's probably best if you stay with Daru and Maho.
かがりちゃん、マユシーがかがりちゃんの分まで頑張るよ。だからオカリンの言う通りにしてね。
ママ。わかった。ママがそう言うなら。
Yeah, I know Kagui's not happy with this, but we can't take any chances. That seemed to be good enough for her.
おじさん、係には全てが終わるまでどこかに隠れさせておくべきじゃないか。
そうだな。だがどこに？
There aren't that many hiding places in Akihabara. If we were going to hide her, it would have to be at Rukago's house or Faris' place. But we can't really rely on those as safe havens for too much
な
longer.
んなら僕の隠れ家にでも行く？
Then again, there is Daru's other
隠れ家？
place.
お前そんなもの持ってるのか？
バイト用にいくつかあるんよ。そこでよければどうぞ。
よし、決まりだ。係もそれでいいか？
Well, the safe house is a safe house.
わかった。
It means that Kagure can't help out with the operation. But then she is a target. The issue was that I couldn't leave Kagure alone.
私にも何かやらせてもらえませんか？
え？
Oh no. And just like that, a new problem has stepped into our midst. It's been quite a while since we last saw Yuki Amane. And yeah. Safe to say that Horin Kiyoma hasn't factored her into his plans. This is going to be a problem. Well, when we return, adventurers, we'll see just how the mighty Horin Kiyoma manages to explain his way out of this situation. Or whether he makes Yuki Amane the 11th lab member. As always, until next we meet.